Maybe he's on in Delaware.
Oh.
That would be coast to coast, wouldn't it?
That's true.
It doesn't have to be. Does he call himself on television Billy Cunningham still?
No, I didn't watch it. It reminded me of talk shows back in the 80s. It was very Donahue-ish before all it just didn't have any umph to it. And I'm like, wow, this is really on TV.
Bill Cunningham is not an umph guy. He has that, what city is he on? You looked him up. I didn't. Where is he? In Cleveland, his talk show?
I think it's Cincinnati or something.
Cincinnati. I'm sorry. I always mix up Cleveland and Cincinnati. And I had never really heard of him. And the show that I was the call screener on was Matt Drudge's Sunday night show. And he gave up the show. And to replace Drudge, who did a great radio show, they stuck Bill Cunningham on. And that's when I heard, and first of all, he's a lawyer, but he's an imbecile. I don't know how this guy even got through law school. And he insisted on radio calling himself Billy Cunningham. The guy's like 60 fucking years old.
He looks like he's had work.
Oh, please, everybody's had work. Did you watch The X Factor?
Yes.
Between Paula and Simon, and the amount of work the two of them had, she looks 12 years old, and he looks like a freak.
Well, see, what happens is you get demented when you live in Southern California, where, like, when you go to West Hollywood or Hollywood, women do not look the same as women in the Midwest. So I have a lot of family in the Midwest. So when I go to Hollywood, I'm looking at women, I'm like, wow, this looks like, it used to look like a different time zone because of all the nice cars and the nice houses. But now women just don't, like a 50 or 60-year-old woman does not look like a 50 or 60-year-old woman.
They look 30.
Yeah, it looks really strange. And I don't know, it's like it's caught in a time warp. But then when you see somebody from the Midwest try to adapt what goes on in Southern California, they look really freakish because they don't get the same work done.
Yeah, well, they can't afford. But Simon Cowell looks very freaky. He doesn't look right.
No, they don't look like normal.
Paula actually looks, except for the fact that she looks like a 12-year-old, she had better work done because she doesn't look freaky. It's only freaky because she's not 12.
I guess these people are just afraid to age.
You're not going to get far in that business, if you don't have work.
That's crazy.
He doesn't want to look 50. And frankly, they ought to look at a guy. Mitt Romney looks pretty good for his age. Rick Perry, now maybe they've had something done, but not to the point of freakiness.
I guess that's cheap work, like it's going to Walmart or to Saks Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. If you saw the debate the other night, that guy, Brett Baer, from Fox, they ought to give him a raise to buy a better wig. What is with that guy's hair? I usually never think anybody's wearing a wig. But Brett Baer, that looks like a wig to me. Jesus. What do they pay him? What, is he making minimum wage at Fox?
Walmart wages.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
but Paula, I thought Paula looked great.
Saturdays.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. But Simon, what happened to Simon? Oh, my God. All right, I got to talk about, get ready for that song, that secret song, Bill. The most fascinating story of the week is, now we knew this 4 years ago, but who thinks about this day and night? Russia is having an election next year. So are we. And this is almost enough reason to want Obama to get reelected, but not quite. Nothing is going to get me there. Now, remember 4 years ago, Vladimir Putin could not run for president. You would think he was the president because he's in the news all the time, and Medvedev, I don't know, he has a more Russian name, and he's harder to follow. He's the president because Putin was not allowed to run. 4 years ago because he had served 2 terms as president of Russia. So apparently, he just couldn't run for a 3rd consecutive term. And everybody knew 4 years ago, because I remember reading this. I haven't thought about it, but I remember reading it back then, that Putin was going to run for president again in 2012. Well, we're nearly in 2012. And, you know, they pulled all their machinations in Russia, where Putin was really the president this whole time. You know, he apparently just told Medvedev what to do. It's like our senator in New York, the vile, despicable Kirsten Gillibrand. I hate her. So Putin was pulling all the strings this time, but all this time. But now he can run again. So, and apparently, you know, Russia is still Russia, you know, so everybody knows if Putin runs, he wins. He wins. And I'm thinking, you know, Putin's big thing is he takes his shirt off all the time. And he, like, wrestles with tigers and leopards. You know, he has they're his pets. He's always riding a motorcycle, riding a speedboat, and everything he rides, he likes riding things where he can ride them with his shirt off. Because, you know, you're supposed to look at Putin and say, what a guy. And I do. Every time I would like a president who could take his shirt off and have a muscle and be riding a motorcycle and a speedboat and a jet ski with no shirt and jump off whatever he's riding and wrestle a tiger. Now, that's somebody you'd have faith in, isn't it? And yet, he has his very artistic side, Vladimir Putin. Right? He's very artistic and sensitive, like this.
I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. On Blueberry Hill. When I found you, the moon stood still on Blueberry Hill. Until my dreams came true. There we in the willow played love's sweet melody. But those vows he made were never to be. Though we're apart, you part of me still. For you were my thrill. Oh, Blueberry Hill.
Okay, I could listen to this. This is my favorite song. This is like the great. That was it was some big fundraiser in Russia, and there were all these movie stars. The one I remember is Melanie Griffith, and that's Vladimir Putin. Now, it is nearly worth it to me to have, you know, if Obama does get reelected, God forbid. So, can you imagine them meeting this prissy little girl that we have as a president, this ballless wonder, you know, meeting with Vladimir Putin? Talk about bullying. Talk about needing, you know, to do something about bullying. All right, Obama, you are my thrill on Blueberry Hill. You will do what I want. Could you imagine, like, Obama taking his shirt off riding a jet ski? Can you imagine Barack Obama wrestling a tiger? Oh, God. That at least if Obama gets reelected, and, you know, as this country just disintegrates, We are going to be able to watch him have meetings with Vladimir Putin, who at the very least is like a man, you know, and maybe he'll sing to Obama, "You were my city on Blueberry Hill." Oh, God. Give us a man. You know, and we are watching this happen. You know, everybody's making a fuss this week about the Palestinians and the UN, and they're going to the UN and saying, make us, give us a country already. Which I can see, it's 63 years. You know, and Netanyahu comes up and says, well, we should talk. They've been talking for 63 years. Where did it get them? Where did it get them? I think this is very clever. Go to the UN, let the UN make them a member. And, then somebody's going to have to give the Palestinians a country. But what are we watching? We are watching the total disintegration of the United States of America. That's what we're watching. You know, Obama comes and says, oh, we're going to veto it. And Abbas makes his speech and everybody's cheering. And it's like, who gives a fuck what the United States thinks? Who cares? And Israel, the two. Who gives a crap? These people deserve a country. And they've been talking for 63 years. And Obama seems to have, sort of abdicated, like he's abdicated everything else. The whole concept of the United States making peace, and the peace that the United States ever made always fell apart. Jimmy Carter made peace. Well, that didn't work. Bill Clinton made peace. That didn't work. So I think it's very clever. Let them have the UN just make them a country. And then maybe actually having the land will follow. Because Israel and Netanyahu are so passive-aggressive. Netanyahu says, oh, we'll talk. Oh, I want peace. And then he builds more settlements. He doesn't want peace. He's like my sister. Netanyahu. Like my sister. Judy, it's your day to dry the dishes. I'll be right down. And then she never comes down. And the dishes dry themselves. Lynn, it's your day to dry the dishes. Yeah, I don't want to get it. And Lynn gets the shit beat out of her. So he's very passive-aggressive, Netanyahu. He doesn't want peace. He says he wants peace, and he's just like Obama. We're supposed to believe what he says. Give them their homeland. Israel stole it from them in the first place. But the United States now is like a mockery. We're like a mockery. Oh, Obama's going to veto it. Who cares? The rest of the world does not care. We have no power. We have no respect. We have no money. We have nothing anymore. Thank you, Barack. Thanks, Barry. Ah, God merciful heaven. We are so finished. We are so finished. So at least if Obama gets reelected as we're totally disintegrating, we can watch him have meetings with Vladimir Putin on Blueberry Hill. Oh, all right. Paul in Boston.
Hey, I have so many things to talk to you about. First, I haven't heard you in like a month because I can't remember to wake up on Saturdays and listen.
Yeah, well, it's hard to remember. Is it raining in Boston?
Yeah, it's raining.
Oh, shit, my nephew is having a big outdoor party. I guess
but I think he may get it in if he has one of those little tents. It's not like pouring. It's just like gray out with the shower here and there, It's not like an all horrible day.
Well, yeah, but it's not a day for it. You plan an outdoor party, and then you always have to say, well, if it's raining, everybody will come in, so I guess everybody will be in.
Yeah, well, if they have one of those little tent things, they'll be okay, too.
I don't know if they have it. I don't know. I just said, I can't come, I work.
Yeah, but it was great hearing you. Well, there's so much to talk about. First, I have a Great Dane dog, and I'm spending $400 a month on dog food, so I have to go buy dog food from some cheap place. It's outrageous.
Costco.
They like triple the dog food prices.
They did? Oh my God! Do you buy? You don't buy like IAMs or a fancy?
No, she eats raw meat.
Real meat, not dog meat.
No,
dog
it's raw
food.
meat. No, it's people grade meat raw, like chicken backs raw. This new thing that they went back to, like feeding dogs like they fed wolves. Dogs should never eat like corn. What do they call that corn syrup stuff that's killing all of them?
High fructose. Well, we shouldn't eat it either.
Right, so it's in all the dog food, and all the dogs have diabetes and everything else. So these people, because Great Danes, my dogs, they have short lives. So they got them back on the raw diet like a wolf would eat. Now they're living to 12, 14. They used to die at 8. So I'm trying this new diet.
How come nobody who writes about obesity and diabetes has made this connection?
I don't know, but some of the dog people.
Wouldn't you think there would be a connection about human obesity, human diabetes, and high fructose corn syrup? If they can't say the dogs are sitting in front of the TV or sitting at the computer.
Right. No, I think.
Why doesn't somebody make this connection that it's the shit in the food?
Right. They said, like, if a wolf would never go eat a vegetable, like in a corn garden, you know what I mean? If he was starving to death, if a wolf went by a cornfield, he wouldn't eat any of it. And almost all dog food is corn and grain and the shit that dogs... Can we swear on this station?
Yes, we can.
We
I
won't
just try not to.
Okay. So anyway, my second thing is Mitt Romney, like you said, we don't have to worry about him. He was the governor of Massachusetts. He was fine, no problems, you know. He even gave us all health care, which I know that they hate that, right? That he passed universal health care.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's like they say they formulated Obamacare based on Romney care.
Yeah, but he's not a bad guy. I mean, I think at least we don't have to worry that he's not a crazy like that Michelle.
No, he's too far to the right, or he sounds that now. I think he's sounding more to the right than he probably really is. I mean,
but he was in Massachusetts. How much to the right could he have been, you know?
Oh, I don't. Look, I really could see if he ran against Obama, I could see in my mind voting for Romney.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a jerk, I think. I mean, I think his politics we don't have to worry about. He's like a businessman.
And he's not going to fix any. I mean, I don't even know how anybody could fix this mess we're in, frankly.
No, I agree, and this mess is killing us. You know, I'm the homeless coordinator for the state, right, in Massachusetts. We have more homeless people. A lot of them are lying and stuff, but a lot of them are really homeless. I had people...
middle-class people.
Yeah, middle-class people. I had 4 people come in from foreclosures that were living in their car with their kids this week. This is stuff we never saw before. We only saw the welfare people, you know, stuff like that. So this is getting really, really bad.
And what's going to happen? I mean, you know, people riot at some point.
You're right.
Insurrection. And the right wing, when you say there's going to be insurrection, you can't throw this many people into poverty and homelessness. And the right wing says they're threatening us.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Moore the other day made the point, you know, you can't do this to people and not expect violence at some point. So instead of saying he's right, they're saying Michael Moore is threatening violence.
But what I can't get over is how mean these, like, when I watched that debate with the Tea-Tagger people, and they just, you know, they like, so this guy's dying, let him die. They were mean, and all those people are just really mean. You know, they don't care about anybody.
They're not thinking,
They're
you know.
Just mean. Hey, my last thing is, I got this back, and I know you know radio gossip. First of all, my Phil Henrys, they took away from Boston. I don't know why, and we have this stupid
I
John
think he's
Jeff
still on here, but he's on in the middle of the night. I can't deal with him in the middle of the... Yeah, WWRL.
Because of you, I got that app on my phone called TuneIn. I love it.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Oh, so anyway, so I'm listening to him from that one and you, and they have this woman named Leslie something. Do you ever hear of her? She's kind of interesting, huh?
I haven't. She's black, and she didn't get to have
really?
You know, I think so, isn't she?
I never saw her. I only heard her. She doesn't sound black.
It's a black station. That's a black station.
Anyway, so I bought a backstage pass for Phil Henry's Remember when you yelled at the producer or somebody and you got on Howard Stern?
Yes.
This Phil Henry is insane. I love him to death, but the backstage pass, he is so crazy and mad about everything. You know,
he is. He's a nut. He's a nut.
The people that work for him, they said one thing: don't speak, don't you even think this is da-da-da. They sent him an edit of some song, and he wanted the original version. You think they came and burnt down his house and raped his parents and children?
He is he's not a nice guy. He's not.
Oh,
it's I never want to meet these. I actually met Phil Hendry.
I love
and I never
though.
should have. Some people, it's like I would never want to meet Michael Savage. Never want to meet him. Because he's not a nice person either.
Yeah, but this guy just scared me, though. But the backstage pass thing is really cool because you get to watch them an hour before the show, how they develop all their bits and stuff. And all the callers develop all these bits on Twitter. They send it to them. All these Bobby Dooley things and everything else.
I haven't listened to him in so long.
You got to listen. He's on KFI tonight. He does On Before Coast to Coast, so if you go onto your little tune-in thing, you can listen to him from 7 to 10 East.
I pay so much money for my phone. And do you know that all I do on that phone is listen to the radio?
That's all I do, too.
It's like $100 a month to listen to the radio.
And I have Sirius app on it, too, so I get to listen to you, too. And I threw away all those things with damn antennas and all my radios at home. Now I plug my iPhone into this. You have a radio next to your bed with your iPhone that you can plug into it so it has speakers?
Oh, can I do that?
Oh, my God.
I think I can. I didn't know you could do that.
It's a clock radio, right? It is AM, FM, clock. Mine even has HD radio. So, and then I push my iPhone onto the top of it. It has this little connector. And then all my apps come live, and I hear it through the speakers. So I'm listening
shit!
to you.
I'm gonna have to look on the back of my radio.
Yeah,
because I have a radio. It's like the cassettes, just very old-fashioned, but it does have connectors in the back.
Do you have an iPhone or an iPad?
I have an Evo. Mine's an Android.
Right. So they must have the same thing. So you know what you do is you just plug in your headphone jack into the auxiliary jack of your radio.
I don't sleep as it is. I swear to God, it's bad enough that I have something to listen to at night, on the radio. My NPR station plays the BBC half the night. That's very soothing. You can have that on and sleep.
Yeah, well, we have all...
That's why I stopped listening to Phil Hendry, because if I'm still, God help me, awake at 1 o'clock in the morning when he comes on here...
Right. 4, yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to be awake from 1 to 4?
No, I agree, but I do listen.
And you can't fall asleep listening to Phil Hendry.
What I do is in my room, and I'll listen from 8 to like 12.
Oh.
Because radio is so horrible in Boston. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. There's nothing live.
Yeah, well, since what's his name died.
David.
What's his whole name?
David Brudnoy.
David Brudnoy. I mean, David Brudnoy, when I would get to hear him, first of all, I never understood what he was way too smart for me.
Yeah, me too.
But he was fabulous. He was one of the greatest talk show hosts ever.
Yeah, but he never tipped anyone, and he would order a half a bottle of wine. I had to wait on him, and then I went out with him one time.
Oh, God, you didn't sleep with him, did you?
No.
He died of AIDS, didn't he?
Yeah, he got it from Puerto Rico, from prostitutes there. But, he's a good guy. And
except he never tipped and he only bought a half a bottle of wine. It's cheap.
I know.
He's probably spending all his money on medical care.
I know. Well, no, he probably had insurance. But you know what? He had a wing in that hospital. They loved him in that hospital. And he had the biggest freaking house on Commonwealth Avenue. He bought 2 condos, opened the floor up. Oh. He had a book collection. He broadcasted out of his house back when nobody did.
Wow.
Back then, he had an ISP.
You got Jay Severin back.
No, he didn't. Where is he? I don't know where he is. I haven't heard.
Jay Severin is, I don't know what's the, look him up. He's back in Boston.
There's only like 4 good stations in Boston.
Yeah, but they hired him. Somebody told me, somebody who actually knows Boston radio told me that the station he's on, he is back.
Do you know
But he's on some shit-ass little station now.
Right.
It's not a good station.
They even have Rush. You know, Rush has on his own station called Rush Radio. Nobody listens to that station, or even, I don't even know where it is, and I'm a radio person, you know? So he's not on. If you're not on, like, the big ones like RKO or this other one, WTKK or BZ, you're not on anything, you know?
Well,
None
but
of those
you can
other
listen,
ones.
you know, you can
Yeah,
listen.
you can listen. Yeah, but they don't pull any ratings. So he's, you know, when there's only 3 good stations in the market, it's like that guy, the station that that Phil Henry's is on. Do you know this guy is so mad because he doesn't get any callers anymore because he said his syndicator has him on all shit radio stations across.
Well,
the country.
well, that's not his syndicate. You know, they don't want him. He never he never, I will say one thing for Phil Henry. They never got him on a big, good station in New York.
Yeah.
Because there are only 2. You're either on WOR or you're on WABC.
Exactly, and I remember those 2, and you were on that WABC.
For 17 years.
So, I mean, that's pretty damn good. You were on the biggest market.
Jay Severin is on WTKK.
No, he's not. He's gone. When is he on? Because they look.
He just came back.
Oh, well, I didn't know about that.
August 16th.
August 16th. No, he did. He got fired again. Since that time.
What? He got fired in the last month?
Yes, because he's not on in the afternoon. There's a guy named Michael Graham on. If you go to WTKK.
Oh, wait. WTKK fired him. They hired him. He begins 8:18 on Clear Channel. Oh, pardon me. He's on WXKS.
Which is, okay, that's
1200.
Right, nobody's ever heard of
From
that.
3 to 6. Yeah, but you can listen. You're there.
Yeah, that just went talk. It was actually Kiss FM. It's AM station.
Oh, my God. They have Jeff Katz. Oh, God. How does that guy ever... Jeff Katz gets fired from everywhere. He always gets another job.
Boring? Isn't he the boring guy?
He's not boring. He's an asshole.
Yeah, okay.
But WXKS in Drive from 3 to 6, Jason.
Yeah, but you know, they haven't done any advertising, so you'd never know he was on. But that's good to know.
There's something for you to listen to.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was great hearing you today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Glad you got up. Bye. All right, wait a minute. I just looked up Jay Severin, so he had to hang up. I'm 9 minutes late for this break. Did I mention LynnSamuels.com, where I put up the most fabulous news articles? And Lynn Samuels on, Twitter. And I'm Lynn Samuels on Sirius XM Stars 107.
On Blueberry Hill and linger until my dreams came
to plug in by my bedside table so that I can just reach over when I want to plug my phone in. If I want to listen to the radio on my telephone at night, and I'm always, have to reach down and find a power strip. And I said, what I need is to put an extension cord in the power strip so I can just reach over and plug the phone in as part of our new way of life. With all these fabulous electronic conveniences that when there's no longer any electricity will do us no good at all. So I wanted like a short extension cord, but all my extension cords are very long. So I go to my extension cord drawer, nice deep drawer in the kitchen where I have my staple gun. Because the apartment I lived in the city, I had to put plastic around all my windows in the winter because they were such crappy windows, which required owning a staple gun. So why throw out a staple gun? And my iron is in that drawer. And now that I never go on television, I don't think I've ironed one thing in 11 years that I live in this apartment. I don't think I have ironed at all, but you have to have an iron. And I'm always buying extension cords. I never think to go in the drawer. So I go in my extension cord drawer, and do you know what I found? 10 D-cell batteries, the big ones, that when we didn't really have the hurricane, you couldn't buy a D-cell battery in the city of New York because that's what you put in the flashlights. And I have a big lantern that I bought for Y2K. And you're not going to throw out a bit. See, that's how you start accumulating stuff. You know, you say, well, Y2K never turned into much. But I bought this big lantern. You know, so what are you going to throw out a thing? You're not going to throw it out. You're going to keep it. And then every time they say, oh, you know, a disaster is coming, you're going to not be able to buy D-cell batteries or, you know, for a regular old-fashioned flashlight. And I scrounged up, I think I got the last 2 D-cell batteries in September in my Rite Aid. But lo and behold, unbeknownst to myself, I had 10 D-cell batteries, which are now in my cabinet, not in my drawer. But what happens after a while? They go bad, right? I mean, what happens when they expire? These batteries, I don't know, they must be 7, 10 years old. Would they even, oh yeah, you're supposed to put new batteries in your smoke alarm tonight when you change your clock. But I just put a new battery in my smoke. Oh, I found 2 of those too. Those are, you never have those either. The, what do you call those? The smoke alarm batteries. I forget what those are, but those are you can never find those either. Mark, is Mark in Texas still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What happens to batteries after 10 years?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm so happy I found 10 big batteries. I have no idea if they're going to work.
I throw them away if they're that old. I don't know.
Not throwing them away. You still, like he said, the last caller was, or Bill said it to me, you still can't find D-cell batteries in New York City. 2 months after the alleged hurricane.
I wasn't even listening. I'll be honest with you. I'm doing 10 different things here.
Why, just because I made you hold on for like 200 hours?
Yeah, well, I have a speakerphone, so it doesn't really matter. I don't go to work till about 4 o'clock, so that's not a big deal. Hey, the reason I called, because I listened to you earlier, you were talking about, about Greece, right?
Yes, and this astonishing idea he had of letting the Greek citizens vote.
Well, if some Greek can get here's me, okay? I don't know, maybe through the internet or something like that. I just want to say, I think it's the duty of the Greek people now to think of the 300. Do you remember the 300 who stood up to the Persians?
I never saw that movie, and whatever the real story, I don't know it.
It's really history anyway. It's been a History Channel and all. They really did. They stood up. They saved Western civilization from the Persians at the time. And what happened? Sprain you? You all right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so what happens? They stop the Persian advance. Okay. Now the Greeks can do it again. Now instead of the hordes coming from Persia, they're coming from Wall Street.
Well, they're coming from the IMF.
Yeah, IMF, the bank. Well, it's all originating basically out of the Fed, the IMF, all these. Those are the hordes of today. Stand up to them. Default. Go back to your old currency. What is it? The drachma?
The drachma.
The drachma, right. Go back. This will not only destroy the banksters, it'll bring back our old currencies. It'll in the long run, it'll help both the United States and Europe and the rest of the world, and it'll stop this New World Order once and for all. I hope the Greeks...
Well, they don't get to vote anymore. He went back on it.
Well, I'm saying they're going to go to the streets now. They're in the streets already.
Well, they've been in the streets. Yeah, but once you're in the streets, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's got better weapons, the Greek people or the Greek, army?
Yeah, but I don't think the army is going to fire on the people.
You always say that. You always say that, and I believe you're wrong.
Talking about in a third world country, some of these third world countries, or in China or something, yeah, they're going to fire on the people. I'm telling you, I was in the United States Army. I am telling you, the Army will not fire on the people when it comes down to it. The police, yes, some police, not sheriff's departments for the most part, but people like the NYPD, I think they'd fire on the people in a minute. Because
please, they're dying to. Oh, God, I'm sure that the New York City police, if you could go into a locker room, you know, they can probably hardly wait until the mayor of New York says, go down to Zuccotti Park and mow them down.
Don't mow down anybody they're talking because their thing is money. They want their big salaries. They want their benefits. Well, not that big, but it's big enough. They want to keep up their benefits. They want their pensions. They want everything else. They will, whatever hand feeds them, they will serve. Okay? The FBI, the same thing. The FBI, the Federal Bureau of Idiots, the agency to take away our firearms, they have no problem firing the people. But when it comes to sheriff's departments, it's a different story. You see that sheriff in Spartanburg, South Carolina, who said people should arm themselves. Okay? And the smaller police departments around the country, that's a different thing, too. The police will not be able to take this country by force. The people will stand up and they will run. They will run like jackrabbits. You saw what happened with Koresh, when Koresh took them on in the beginning, okay? And I'm telling you, it'll happen. They will not be able to do it. The only ones that could do it is the military. And I'm telling you, soldiers are not that type. They will not fire on the American people when push.
Well, all right, we'll see. Frankly, I hope we don't see.
Look, Lynn.
I hope it never comes to that.
And I was in law enforcement, and I will tell you this: the military represent the people. They come out of blue collar, mostly, middle America. They believe in the Second Amendment themselves. They will not fire on the people.
But what is the main thing you're taught when you go into the Army, isn't it, or the military? It's to follow orders.
No, it's also, you take an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States.
How many of them have read the Constitution?
You'd be surprised. More of them know the Constitution than
Yeah, I would be surprised, because it's my impression that the main thing you're taught in the military is to follow orders unquestioningly.
Not unquestionably, okay? And it's the same thing, by the way. I'm sure it's the Greek military will not fire on its people either, okay? They're not that type of country. They're not that type of a military. The same thing, by the way, in Germany. It's not the same German army as you might think, okay? They will not fire on the people, okay? It's not like that.
Well, I wish I could believe that, but I don't share your optimistic view of this.
You watch. I'm telling you, Lynn. I'm telling you, you got to be more optimistic. Even Alex Jones, I think, got it wrong when he talks about the military, okay? The military will not fire on the American people. They will not disarm the American people. The police, yes. Don't trust them. They're a bunch of scumbags for the most part.
Also, then you have the police will kill the military, and then the military won't be there.
The military will be able to take care of the cops.
Did you see the latest bunch of terrorists they arrested?
Yeah, those geriatric people there in...
Yes, what I called in my headline, I said grumpy old men.
That's what I'm
saying. Like, you really believe, if I ever saw a setup where the FBI, the key word is an FBI informant, and they arrest as terrorists like men, the youngest of whom was 67.
How about arresting your boss there, Eric Holder, the real terrorist, and Janet Neapolitano, the other big sis? What about the other terrorists? What about arresting terrorists like that? Okay, those are real terrorists, or the financial terrorists, Osama bin...
Nothing who should be in jail right this minute?
What?
Rather than having hired his criminal defense. John Corzine. Absolutely. What is that?
He should have been in jail a long time ago.
I think somebody ought to tell Chris Christie that he ought to, much as I don't like him, he really ought to have the books of the state of New Jersey audited.
Absolutely.
To see what was going on when that sack of shit John Corzine was the governor.
I don't call him Corzine. I call him what he really is, coarse slime.
Jesus Christ. Every day you hear another number, $600 million, $700 million, $900 million missing from customers' accounts when he's only been the head of that company for 2 years.
But Lynn, this is the type of criminals.
And they're just stealing the customers' money.
Like I said, this is the type of criminal empire that's running the entire Wall Street. That's why, like I said, let's hope the Greeks do not bail out the banks. That's what it really comes down to, a bailout of the banks. It has nothing to do with Greece. It has nothing to do with these other countries. These countries have to stand up and understand.
But they're not doing anything. These leaders are not leaders. They just had the G20 where they said Obama's wandering around there. This country that used to be the leader of the free world, nobody's interested in us anymore. We're finished. He's running around chewing his Nicorette gum, and nobody's paying any attention to him. And they broke up the meeting, and they're like, oh, we'll think about this in February.
Lynn,
what kind of leaders are these people? What is wrong with them?
Lynn, the real power rests in Bilderberg. That's where the real power comes from, okay? They are pulling the strings right now. That's why this is the time. This is the line. That's why I say the 300. It's funny that it comes to Greece. Draw that line. Say, no, you're going no further. Now we're going to push you out. Now we're going to push back.
Well, and then the next country to go down is either Portugal or Italy.
It shouldn't even get
And
to that.
Italy's economy is 5 times bigger than the economy of Greece. Italy's a biggie.
I know, but Greece right now can stop the whole thing. It's Greece right now. That's why they're so fearful. That's why if you turn on the business channels and all, they're so fearful of what's going on because they know they can bring it all down. They can bring this evil empire to its knees. The evil empire, I'm talking about the bankster empire, the ones who really rule this planet right now.
Yeah, well, wait the 2 weeks in this country till the super committee decides to take away everybody's Social Security.
And reduce the military on top of it.
The military cannot be reduced enough for me.
Well, I'm telling you, Lynn, I think you're wrong.
Why do we need to spend more money than every other country put together?
You don't need to be involved in all these foreign adventures, that's for sure. And that's why.
But we're about to, the rumor all week is Israel is about to attack Iran.
I know, I've heard it.
Somebody is going to attack Syria.
He said he's ready to go back to fight for his country, So, who knows?
God, I'm telling you, I think I lived already too long.
But as far as the military itself goes, they will not fire any American people, Lynn.
All right, thank you. I got to take a break. Thank you, Mark.
All right, bye.
Bye. Lynn Samuels, Sirius XM Stars 107. Hey, Laurie Cantillo, the ex-program director of WABC. You see where throwing George Noory off the air got you, bitch? She's out of a job now, too. She put on Red Eye, which is, to me pretty unlistenable. But you know what we're getting in New York City? That syndicated overnight trucking show. I'm sure that's exactly what New York City wants to hear. All right, a call went out that I didn't hear this call, but it must be where somebody told people named Tom from states beginning with an A should call me. So I guess the person who called first was Tom from Arizona. He doesn't know I went to him. He's listening. Well, eventually it's going to say, Tom from Arizona. What is that? How long? Yeah. You know what? Can you put him on hold? And then we'll go to Tom in Arkansas. People, you do not hear the commercials, but that's no reason to hang up. Oh, Tom from Arkansas.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Not much. I want to tell you that I'm really mad that they took you off during the week, number one.
Not as mad as I am.
Obviously not, no. But I don't get this thing with you in Greece. Now, the bank loans get me money. I go out and use it for my business, and then I go buy all the stuff and overspend, and if they're the assholes, why is the bank the asshole for the international monetary
Because the people of Greece did not run up this debt.
The government did, man. That's sure they did. If they're the ones who ran the debt up, they're the ones who've been retiring people at a younger age. There's a lot of
that is the culture of that country. It wasn't like they just started doing that.
Yes, man. But if you can't afford it, at one point I was making a lot of money. Now I'm not. So I just got to adjust the way I live. I mean, it's pretty common sense, I think.
Why should the people pay for this? The people didn't do it.
Okay. It's the government's the people, right? Everybody's represented, especially in Greece.
Nobody's. Do you feel represented in this country? I don't feel. Who represents me in this country?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you got a person in the House of Representatives who you voted for. You got a senator.
No, I have a person in the House of Representatives who I didn't vote for.
Yeah, okay. Right. I'm from New York originally, so when Hillary Clinton was elected senator, my mother wanted to leave the state. So it's not. But that, I mean, it's a majority.
And it turned out Hillary was a wonderful senator, wasn't she?
You know what? I don't really have much of an opinion on Hillary. She's, been really pilloried in the press for years and years and years. But she seems like an intelligent lady, and she,
Well, now she has higher approval ratings than Obama does. Everybody loves her now.
Yeah. So I'm not a Democrat, so I wouldn't have voted for Obama or Hillary. But without regard to that, she's, as a person.
You voted for John McCain?
I did. Yeah. Boy,
We'd be in even more wars. We'd be in more wars than we're in.
I think we're at the maximum amount of wars.
Oh, I don't know. Obama's starting a new war every 5 minutes somewhere.
It's like the joke the guy said. He got punched out and got 2 black eyes. That's the maximum amount you can do. This is we can't spread the troops out all over the place.
He's sending them now to Africa.
Oh yeah. So what happened to Clinton when he didn't send the people to Rhodesia and all those millions of people died?
Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Yeah, well, you know something? He himself says that's his biggest regret. Is that he let all those people in Rwanda kill each other.
Well, it's got to be the toughest job in the world. So you're making life and death decisions every day. So even if I don't agree with Obama and I don't like his policies, I bet you if I met the man straightforward, I'd be awestruck to meet the president of the United States.
Oh God, I wouldn't. I'd spit in his face.
Well, I met Ronald Reagan, and when I was in the military, and that's basically when you're in the presence of all the Secret Service and especially maybe in the military context, it was. And I was 18 years old, so that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I think you being 18 years old was what made it awesome.
Yeah, that helps.
Who are they? Who are they? Why should you look up to any of them? When it's becoming more and more obvious day by day that they're all imbeciles.
Well, I don't know. My brother is a high official in Connecticut, Joe Lieberman.
God!
He's in the police force. He's a state trooper. He's a high official, and he's worked his butt off all his life. He deserves to be looked up to a little bit.
Why?
Because his story is. My father died at a very young age, and he took care of our family from when he was like 12 years old. Working, he's just a man who's, I'm proud to call him my brother. So why not praise people who do the right thing?
Well, maybe he did the right thing personally, but why praise people who manage to connive and finagle their way into political office? How do you know they did the right thing? They connived and finagled. That's all we know.
We really don't know everybody's personal story. You're absolutely right. I know my brother's personal story, so I'm a little
All right,
more.
so I'll look up to your brother, but I would still spit in Obama's fucking face. I gotta try to get these other people in. Thanks, hon.
Okay,
Bye.
God bless. Have a good day.
Bye. Okay, the other Tom. Tom from Arizona, the other Tom.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay, what's the temperature?
It's wonderful. It just broke, and it's in the 60s.
Oh, God. Well, if I could get my shit together, I could be in Arizona, but I am never going to get my shit together.
I love you, Lynn.
Thank you. What's up?
Can you do me a huge favor?
What?
At the end of your show today, could you dedicate and serenade me with Nina Ballerina?
There's no time.
Oh.
And I keep thinking of playing Nina Ballerina, and then I keep saying it's going to make me too sad. Because then I'm going to think of when I had a real job, a full-time job. I don't want to ever play Nina Ballerina till they put me on 4 days a week.
I just miss you singing, Lynn. I love when you sing.
But I can't sing to that anymore. I'm telling you, it's just,
I'm so sorry.
it's like I can't go back to Las Vegas.
I hear you.
Because I would think of when I went there with somebody. And I can't sing. They have to give me 4 days a week. And then the fourth day, I don't want 5 days.
Well, once they finally come to their senses, can you promise to remember this call and sing for me?
Well, once they give me a full-time job back, which they're never going to do, it's more likely they're going to fire me. But, once they do that, then the last day of the week, the fourth day, I would naturally play Nina every day, every week.
Well, that would make my entire life worth something, Lynn. I appreciate that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How fucked up is your life?
Oh, come on. You're just so wonderful, Lynn. You remind me of being back east.
Yeah, but it's nicer there. What part of Arizona are you in?
I'm about 25 miles outside of Phoenix. It's called Litchfield Park.
Oh, what did I just read about? Oh, you had a big statewide, but it was held in Phoenix, thing where they pretended there was some tragedy and all the guys were running around in hazmat suits.
Really? When did this?
Around Phoenix. They have these exercises, these Homeland Security exercises. And yours, I think, is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wow. The biggest thing recently was national was those T-shirts those cheerleaders were wearing for breast cancer awareness.
Oh yes, you're supposed to be against breast cancer, but you can't acknowledge a word like boobies.
Right, like feel a bump, check for lumps or something like that. Or, I don't know, something along those lines.
Oh, that goes on everywhere. They have the bracelets they're not allowed to wear. This whole country, don't you sometimes think we deserve what we're getting?
Well, I've heard someone else on the radio call this the pussification of America.
It's worse than pussification. It's like everybody has to watch that movie Idiocracy, because that's what we're turning into.
You're so right, Lynn. Everything you say I agree with. Whether I disagree with it...
Oh, well, there's definitely... So you need more help than I can give you.
But please remember me in the future and sing to me.
I will. They have to give me my 4 days a week back. Thanks, hon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. And Tuesday or Wednesday, they're having a test of the emergency broadcast system, but it's a nationwide test for the first time. At 2 in the afternoon, either Tuesday or Wednesday, they're going to interrupt every radio station, every television station in the whole country. And one of my stations is running ads saying, "Don't be afraid. It's only a test. Tell everybody there's going to be a test." This is this new thing where, like, Obama is they just gave him, like, the power to come on television whenever he feels like it. And they're testing it. And it's amazing. Homeland Security is saying, don't be afraid. I thought their job was to make us afraid of everything. Who's that last caller? George from Texas. Ah, fuck. God, I wish we could figure out how to get this thing to work again. So Tuesday, whatever you're watching, whatever you're listening to, I don't know if they're going to interrupt your cell phone. I don't know if like some call is going to come through on your cell phone. But they've never done a nationwide test. You know, you hear this on your local radio stations, you know, where it goes,